Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWine Radio. iWine Radio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there. Alan Goldfarb is back with us here as a regular contributor. Every month we're going to be talking about his columns that are in the, it's all about food. It's all about wine. It's called Checking Lists, a critical list at restaurant wine. And so he is publishing 2 different columns a month. And so what I have in front of me are, since we first talked to him, were the 2 columns. One of them is about a restaurant visit to MY China, and the other one was to Beleniso. Alan, am I pronouncing it correctly? Beleniso? Belenico. So it's a hard C. Belenico.
Right.
Okay, so I've got to ask you first off, where are you getting these ideas of where to visit? I mean, you're a foodie, so seriously a foodie anyway, but are people giving you ideas, or is this coming up totally with on your own, where to go?
Well, first of all, if you might recall, I think in my first column on Table Hopper, I said that wine people know more about food than food people know about wine.
Yes.
So I have my ear to to what's happening, with the food scene as well. And as a matter of fact, Marcia Gagliardi, the editor and founder of TableHopper.com, that's what Table Hopper is all about.
Oh, okay.
It's really telling folks openings of restaurants, closing of restaurants, which chef is moving here and which is moving there. So that's a resource. And of course, one has to eat to live, so I'm constantly going to restaurants and trying to find new ones, and I hear about things that certain restaurants, about their wine program, what they're doing here. It's I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country, but we have such things as now wine on tap, which is become very popular in many restaurants in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I think I was going to say wine in boxes, but I don't think that's occurred yet. But it may. The technology is getting so much better. I think even wine that is sold in boxes has a bladder that keeps the oxygen out. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm always hearing and open to new places, and then just as a matter of course, I go to a restaurant, and if the wine list or the program in the restaurant grabs me, if there's something unusual there or different or interesting or great or bad, that's fodder for a column.
Okay, talk to us about how about MY China first?
Well, MY China is the project of Martin Yan, Y-A-N, so it's M-Y, Martin Yan, China, and he has been a long-time television chef, Chinese chef. I don't know if he's national or not. I suspect that he has been over the years. So this is his project, and what makes it so unusual for San Francisco, we're so big box averse, if you will,
yes.
Here in the Bay Area. We don't like big box stores, chain stores, but there is a big indoor shopping center in the heart of San Francisco on Market Street, which is our main thoroughfare, and it's in the Westfield Center, it's called, and there are many restaurants, including a food court down in the basement, and MY China is up, I think, on the third floor underneath this fantastic Art Deco dome, because it originally was another a department store for, I can't remember the name of it right now, but that was around since the 20s and 30s.
Okay.
So MY China opened, and there are movie theaters right above it, and as I said in the column, I opened it by saying we were waiting at the bar to get in, and there was a couple sitting next to us, and the gentleman turns to his partner and says, "Are we in Las Vegas?"
Gosh.
Because there are people, it's an open glassed wall kitchen, and they're pulling noodles by hand, which is a good thing, but sometimes they walk out on the floor and do noodle pulling demonstrations. And Martin Yan himself is sometimes on the floor, and he walks the restaurant, talking to people, taking pictures, because he's a celebrity of sorts. And so this restaurant is so unusual for San Franciscans. What's happening to our city, But all that said, I concluded that, and I know my Chinese food really well. It's very decent Chinese food. It's not great, but it's good. And it's certainly a place to go if you're going to the movie theater up the escalator,
okay,
before or after the dinner. And more germane to our context here today, they have a wine list with and very decent wines, and which is a normal thing now for San Francisco, and I'm sure it's similar around the country. Restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Asian restaurants, everyone has a wine program now, and a pretty decent wine program. And that was the point of the piece. It's just so wonderful to see good wines with good glasses and servers who know what they're doing, even in those kind of restaurants that heretofore you would never expect anything but maybe some wine in a box. But
now you had some critical points, and I won't go there since you didn't mention it. But as opposed to this Bellanico restaurant, and that was almost a sublime experience.
Oh, Bellanico is in Oakland, and it's in a neighborhood in Oakland that is almost like a little village as a part of Oakland. So I conjured it up as being an Italian roadside restaurant in a hilltop village, and they've been there for about 5 years, and it's the cuisine is just fabulous. It's from several different regions of Italy, and I started the column by saying I think it's a perfect restaurant. Not that it's a great restaurant. It's not white tablecloth. But it's perfect because all the elements are in place. The food is really, really good. The servers know the food. It's not too noisy in there, which is a very important consideration.
Yes.
And the wine list is just fabulous. It's almost an all-Italian list. The co-owner is half Sicilian and half Spanish, and she really, really knows her wine. And she offers it in 3-ounce tastings for anywhere from $11 to $15, and so you get a total of about 9 ounces for that price. From different regions of Italy, she has wines from the islands, from Sardinia and Sicily in those tastings. She has wines from I'm going to say Hilltop, but every town is Hilltop, right? In Italy.
Yeah.
And the wines are so excellent and so
thoughtfully. I mean, she really put a lot of energy into and you also say in this column that she avoided this, which I don't like also of pitfall of choosing all these new world. She stays with old world wine selection.
Yes, she does. That's what I was going to say. Thank you. There are varietals that we are not too familiar with here in the States that are just fabulous, including white wines from the South. And most importantly, however, the staff knows the wines.
Wow.
And that is a very not unusual thing, but it's a wonderful thing that the staff knows the wines. The wine director trains them several times a month. She actually tests them, written tests.
Oh wow!
And of course, she serves some dishes with some of the wines that she would like for them to know, so that there's a wine and food affinity. What a concept that is, right? And it's just fantastic, and the prices are pretty reasonable. Most are in the $40 to $50 range, and they're excellent wines. There are a few wines in the 60s and 70s. There are actually some in the high 20s and 30s. So that's why I say it's a perfect restaurant, because everything is there. Great food, great service, and fabulous wines. Bellanico.
Oh my God! I mean, that in particular, I'd like to go visit. If I was there, I would definitely go visit Bellanico. Talk to us about this ravioli that was gossamer thin with beets and ricotta.
Yes, I actually made a little bit of a faux pas in the column. It's stuffed with ricotta, as the Sicilians pronounce it.
Okay.
But the ravioli itself is a beet ravioli.
Okay.
It's not stuffed with beets.
Okay.
But yes, it's so ethereal. It's so thin. It's not thick and starchy. The noodle, and it's just gorgeous. The cheese is fabulous, and it pairs so well with a. I don't have the list in front of me.
You have an Umbrian, right? An Umbrian red wine.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, yes, it's a Umbria, and specifically from the little hilltop village of Montefalco, which specializes in the Sagrantino grape, and it just went perfectly with this beet ravioli.
Alan, thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Lynn.
Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWine Radio. iWine Radio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine, on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.